I've just been to the Family Mart to get some traditional Japanese drinking snacks. So I've got my selection of snacks. I've got myself a nice cheeky beer, and let's get this show on the road. So first, I'm going to introduce the beer. It's a non-alcoholic beer today. It's called Asahi Zero, and this is actually my first time trying it. So I've tried a few of the Asahi Zero series, but this one is the newest one. So let's get it cracked open and see what it's all about. Got a nice chilled glass. So let's give it a taste, see what it's all about. It's actually not too bad. I mean, there's a lot of these non-alcoholic beers, they don't really taste like much, but this is actually one of the better ones. So if you're looking for something non-alcoholic, you could try one of these. This is quite nice. So this is going to be my beer of the day. So we're starting off with, oh my goodness me, it is a whole dried squid. Check that out. It comes in a little package there. Inside here, there is a whole squid and it's waiting to be devoured. So let's take a look at the English translation of the product description. It says, we marinated squid in a mildly spicy soy sauce based marinade and grilled it whole to a savory finish. With a little extra care, it's been made easier to eat. Easier to eat, they say. Well, spicy soy sauce. Well, it sounds pretty good, doesn't it? So I'm not really a big fan of squid to begin with, so this is going to be a bit of a funny one. So I'm going to crack it open here. Oh, the tentacles are already poking out there. You see there's a tentacle, it's already there. Okay, just going to go for it. Dun, 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 dun. Hello there, my little baby. And if we do this, I think it's going to come folding down like this. Have you ever seen anything like it? Oh my goodness me, a dried squid. And there's the back view as well. Look at that. So it's quite long, isn't it? And oh my goodness me, does it smell fishy? I wasn't expecting it to smell quite so, wow, I can't speak, it's so fishy. Oh, okay, get your cats out the way. This could be one for the cats. Okay. Now, this is actually called surume in Japanese, which is a dried squid. Normally they don't have this kind of marinade. They've been marinated in spicy soy sauce. So, and this has been treated so that it's kind of a little bit more tender than usual, supposedly. But we'll see. Well, the proof of the pudding will definitely be in the eating with this one. Ooh. Now, how should we go about eating this? I'm not too sure, but I'm assuming this is the head. Shall we go head first? Okay. Here goes. Oh. It's very chewy. Wow. They said it was easy to eat. I don't know about that. Get your bicycle tires out for this one. Anyway, so to be honest with you, it smelled really, really fishy, so I was kind of put off to begin with. But once you get into it, it's actually not so fishy. And I'm tasting the spice. It says it's spicy soy sauce, so Now, a common way to eat these is with mayonnaise and shichimi, which is like a spice thing here. So this is shichimi. So you can buy these in the convenience store or in the local supermarkets. It's 7 different types of spices all put together. Actually, here is the list of ingredients, just in case you're interested. So I've got some mayonnaise. I'm just going to put some of this on top, give it an extra bit of spice. So that's what a lot of people do, eat this surume, this dried squid, with mayonnaise and shichimi. It's kind of a traditional way. So what I'm going to do to make it easy, I'm going to try and rip a piece of this off. Let's see if we can rip it. Oh, it rips quite easily, doesn't it? I'll rip another piece off just to make it easier to eat. Oh, there you go. It's like a piece of leather, really, isn't it? And then, so let's try this time with the mayonnaise and the shichimi spices and see how it goes. So yeah, this is actually very palatable. I mean, I was kind of a bit apprehensive before I came into this, but it kind of grows on you and it really is quite spicy. Plus I added some extra spice as well. Let's see how it goes, the flavors go together with some beer. That's a really good combination. So yeah, a lot of people do have this with sake, you know, nihonshu, or with beer especially, and some people put it on their stove at home. People have a stove like in their living room, it's like a fire, and they just put it on there and it kind of heats it up and makes it tiny bit crispy around the edges, and they just watching TV and having a bit of this and a few beers. It's a very traditional way to, you know, to eat the squid. Oh, very nice, okay. So next up, we've got the smoked quail's eggs. So if you're unfamiliar with the quail, here's a few pictures to show you what it looks like. It's quite a small bird, and the eggs themselves are also really small, but in Asian cooking, they're used rather a lot. I'm not too sure about in European cooking, but in Japan, you can find them in the supermarket, you can find them all over the place, and they're really tasty little eggs. Actually, I think the yolk seems to be bigger than your average, you know, hen's egg. So that's what they look like. So they're really small. There's supposed to be 7 in this little pack. It says 7 on the side there. So there's 7 little eggs in here, and they've been smoked in sakura chips, which is the tree from the cherry blossom. So that's pretty cool, isn't it? So you can actually taste the cherry blossom smoked chips through the eggs apparently. So let's crack it open and have a taste. It smells lovely and smoky. Can you see inside there? So I actually assumed that these eggs, because in Japan they individually wrapped so many things, I assumed these were going to be individually wrapped, but they're all kind of loose in there, so I don't know, it feels like it's going to be even fresher than usual. So let's tip them into a little bowl here so that you can actually see what's inside. Oh, don't want that thing. There we go. You can see 7 smoked quail's eggs. Let me just read you the product description for these eggs. We season the rich flavored Japanese quail eggs with a sweet and savory sauce, then smoke them using cherry wood chips. So they are really small compared to a regular egg. Look at the size. I mean, that's not big at all, is it? Look at that. It's just a tiny little egg. But they smell lovely and smoky. It's not an overpowering smokiness. You know, sometimes you get stuff that's just too smoky. It's just a very light smokiness. And obviously it's changed the color to this beautiful brown color. So let's dig in. So first I'm going to take a bite of half of one to show you what it looks like halfway. So these are actually surprisingly sweet. I don't know where the sweetness is coming from. Maybe they've been like sprayed or marinated with something sweet, but there's a special sweetness coming through. And as an egg, as I said, the yolk part is much bigger than the average egg that you would get from a chicken. So I love the yolk part of any egg, so there's a big bonus for me. So texture-wise, they're actually, because everything which is smoked naturally goes a little bit kind of tougher on the outside, not so much on the inside. This is definitely the case with this. You have to kind of bite into it a little bit, but the flavor is really nice. It's nice and mild. And the yolk is nice and creamy. Let's see it with how it goes with beer, eh? What a lovely combination. So I think that the sweetness really adds something to this. And the smokiness, it's just a very mild smokiness. So these are great. You just get 7 in the pack, and they're not all that cheap, to be honest with you, but I think these, you don't need to eat loads of these. I mean, 2 or 3 for one person would be nice. So buy 1 bag, you could share it between you and your friend. So next up we get something cheesy, this one here. These are like cheese strips and they've been made with cod. They stick fish in everything, don't they? So these are actually made with 2 different types of cheeses. So let's just read the product description. It's very simple. We used 2 types of cheese, cheddar and Samso cheese. So I had actually never heard of that cheese, Samso cheese, which is semi-hard cheese from Denmark, similar to a Gouda. It's made from cow's milk and has a mild, slightly nutty flavor with a smooth, firm texture. So apparently it's used quite a lot in cooking or mixed into other dishes. So there you go. But again, cheddar, everybody knows that, and cod. I didn't expect the cod to be thrown into the mix there, but there you go, this is Japan. So let's just open this up here. How do we open it up? And there's a little tray in here and out she pops. There we go. And they're all lined up like little soldiers. Look at that. Let's have a bit of a sniff. That smells nice, mildly cheesy. It's not an overpowering anything at all. I'm not really getting any fish at all, even though it's supposed to have cod in it. But I suppose cod isn't really the most like strongly flavored fish. So looking at these, they're all exactly the same size. They're all very uniform and they're like this. It's like a really old French fry. Just kind of flops about. Let's give it a bit of a taste test. So this is quite a mild cheesy taste, but it's really tasty. Now, come to think of it, when you start eating it, you can taste there's something fishy in there. It's not just cheese. And yeah, the cheese itself is, both of the, cheddar is quite a strong flavor, but this is not strong at all. Probably there's a higher amount of the Samso cheese, and the cheddar is probably in there to give it more kind of a bit more punch and a bit more of a kind of a salty, extra cheesy flavor, because it doesn't really come through all that strong, the cheddar, but you can tell it's there, if you know what I mean. So there's like a white coating on the outside. So it's almost like if you have like some French cheeses, they have like a coating around the outside, which is, I guess that's the mold or something. It looks like that, but it's not like that. I think they've probably gone for that look. You know, have like with camembert or those cheeses which have like a white mold around them. I think they're probably going for that kind of feel, but I don't know what that white stuff is around. Maybe that part is the fish. Maybe they've like put a fish coating all around it. Okay, so let's look at the ratings for our lovely friend, the squid here, Squidsworth. I'm going to give him 4 stars. Surprisingly, I quite enjoyed this. You kind of get into it, it's kind of addicting, I suppose, but this is surprisingly good. Next one, let's see, the quail's eggs. Well, I'm going to give the quail's eggs, these will be getting 5 stars. I really like these because they had so much yolk. It wasn't an overpowering smokiness, and the eggs inside were nice and creamy. Again, goes perfectly with beer. These cheesy ones, the cheese with cod, They were good, but I'm gonna give them 3 stars. The reason I didn't give them the full 5 stars was, I don't know, they were just kind of boring. Thanks very much for watching, and we shall see you in the next lovely video. Cheers!